Well, hey there, good morning. Happy Worth It Wednesday. Every Wednesday, we send a principle worth learning, a question worth answering, and a recommendation worth taking. And today's principle is that your ability to cast vision will never exceed your ability to catch vision. You like those hand motions, out and up, right? I'm going to go into a cheer by the end of this, but I'm going to say it again. Your ability to cast vision will never exceed your ability to catch vision. And I just believe this. There's so much written and talked about today on leaders needing to cast vision. And I think it's valuable and I think it's good. If you are a leader, you are a communicator, and therefore one of your primary roles, responsibilities, and opportunities is to effectively cast vision. But here's the deal. What's the vision that you're casting? And more important, where is that vision coming from? This is something that we should take outrageously seriously because I know that I am susceptible to the vision of there, right? Leadership is taking people from here to there. Therefore, we need to know where there is to my vision of there being wrong, being incorrect, being motivated by impulse, being motivated by selfishness or ego. And I just think that there's nothing more devastating than climbing a mountain and bringing other people with you and working like crazy to get to the summit only to realize that you're on top of the wrong mountain because you didn't properly catch the right vision. So I just spent a lot of time thinking about how am I catching vision and are we climbing the right mountain? Right? Because that's something that I don't want to screw up, right? I don't want to get to the top of a mountain or be on the side of a mountain only for the people who are with me to say, like, where are you taking us? So how do we think about this topic of catching vision, of receiving vision? Well, Proverbs 29:18 highlights the importance of vision, right? Which I think we all know. It says, where there is no vision, the people perish. I love when people say the Bible isn't clear, right? It literally says if you don't have vision, you're going to die. So I don't know how it gets much more clear than that. But Eugene Peterson has an interpretation of that verse in the Message that is just it was so valuable and so helpful for me whenever I first read it. Because he says, when people can't see what God is doing, they stumble all over themselves. Boy, I have done that. I more recently than I'd like to admit, I've stumbled all over myself, right? I think we've all done that, right? And when we can't see what God is doing, we stumble all over ourselves. But the second part of what he wrote is so powerful. It says, but when they attend to what he reveals, then they will be most blessed. But when they attend to what he reveals, then they will be most blessed. And I just love that because I think so often, especially in the business world, we can get so obsessed with having the right format, the right formula, the right methodology, right? And we say, oh, I want a 10-year target, or oh, I want a BHAG, I want a big, hairy, audacious goal, or I need to have these annual milestones. And I think all of those things are good. But I'll tell you, I think the format should be a supplement for vision. It should not be your vision, because your vision should not simply come from some formula that you read in a book. Your vision should come from you asking the God of the universe, what do you want me to do with what you've given me? And the response to that is oftentimes very distinctive from the response to what do I want to do with the next 5 years, right? It can be very different. And so I have nothing against BHAGs and 10-year targets. We have those types of goals for our business, but I think it should be rooted in and submitted to asking God to reveal what he wants you to do with the gifts, the talents, the desires, the passions, the manpower that he gave to you, right? And so vision doesn't come from me, right? I don't just conjure this up out of the force of my own being or the force of my personality. Vision is you having the humility as a leader to slow down and ask the question, What is God revealing to me right now? What is God revealing to us right now? And I know that some of you don't believe what I believe, and that's totally fine, right? We don't have to believe the same thing, but I'm also not going to ignore what I believe. And I believe that God is omnipresent, right? It means that he's everywhere all the time. He's not just a God of the past. He's not simply a God of the future. He's also not just a God that's distant, removed, up above. He's a God that is here now. God is in the room. And so the question is not, is God with me? The question is, am I with God? Oh, I could get really worked up. The question is, am I with God? And we should not casually answer that question. So what does catching vision look like? It looks like taking some time on a consistent basis to slow down, to clear the clutter and the distraction that so easily deviates us from our purpose, and to ask, what do you want to reveal to me right now? And maybe it will sound like this big, booming, thunderous voice, but in reality, I don't think it typically, for me, sounds like an audible voice at all. I think it sounds like a still, small voice that bypasses my mind and goes straight to my soul. The voice of God is like a scalpel, and it comforts me when I need to be comforted, and it convicts me when I need to be convicted. But more than anything, it reveals to me what he wants and not just what I want. And that's the type of vision that I want to chase. That's also the type of vision that I want to cast. So we talk a lot of times about you need to passionately cast vision. Well, I'm honestly not that interested in passionately and sustainably casting a vision that is simply rooted in my ego. But man, if I truly believe that my soul has been touched by a vision of the future that doesn't yet exist, that came from God based on what he's saying he wants me to do and wants us to do with the blessings that he gave us, you better believe I'm going to be passionate about that. Game on, right? So yes, we should focus on casting vision, but just as much, we should attend to our responsibility as leaders to catch vision for people, for our team, for our business, for our families, for our organization. Have the audacity to think something that does not yet exist, and don't just get it from yourself, get it from God. Let's go, let's go, let's go.